Hello, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, depending on where you are. This is Bob Boulay, Senior Solution Architect with ownCloud and ownCloud Open Source Enthusiast. Wanted to bring you another update. Those of you that have followed ownCloud or follow ownCloud.org know that we periodically do these previews to help you better understand what's coming in the next release. I did this with ownCloud 6. And now with ownCloud 7 being on the horizon, wanted to go ahead and bring you a quick video preview of what's coming in ownCloud 7 and some of the things that you can look forward to. So I want to jump right into this and really sort of talk a little bit about some of the redesign here. Obviously, we continue to tweak the design of the tool. Now we've got some additional ways to interact with the tool. As you can see here now, I can go ahead and select the type of application that I want to view right from the drop down up here. So right now I'm looking at the Files app. I can look at my Activities app, my Documents app, Pictures, Calendar, and I can also add my apps here as I'm logged in as the administrator. A lot of the things that I think are really exciting here in terms of what we've done with the user interface and the interaction that you're going to have with ownCloud are the things that I want to focus on today. First and foremost, and something that we're very excited about, is the elimination of the shared folder. So now all of your files are going to be accessible directly from the root with some navigation. So obviously here in the Files app, I can see all of the files that I have available to me. I could also click here and look at files that I have shared with me. So if someone shares a file, I can simply click on this. Now, it would also be available in all files, but if I clicked on this, I could see files that have been shared with me, and I'll go to a user so you can see that, sort of what that looks like. I can look at files that I've shared with others. So, how often have you thought to yourself, okay, did I share that file out, or have I shared that file out? Now you can quickly come here and see that. I've also got a breakdown of files that I've shared via link. Again, I don't have to sift through my files and sort of figure out which ones I've shared, which ones I haven't. And then the last bit here, which is again pretty exciting, is my ability to go ahead and see the files that reside on external storage. And again, what we're doing here is making it easier for you to get to the files that you want to view or find the files that you're looking for. You can do that with the search pane, but now we've got some nice broken down views. You don't have to drill down into folder upon folder to be able to see that. The other thing that we did here, which is pretty exciting, is the ability to go ahead and actually sort by some of the field descriptions up here. And again, this is something that a lot of folks were asking for. And again, it comes into play if you're working with large numbers of files. If you've got hundreds or thousands of files here and you want to get to the largest file, or you want to get to doing some cleanup because you're running out of disk quota, you want to look at where are my largest files and can I purge some of those. I can sort based on file size, mod times, name of the file to put them in alphabetical order. So again, really, really exciting usability upgrades that we've added here within ownCloud 7. The other thing that we're doing here is the lazy loading. So no longer do you have to wait for that list of files to load. So if you're drilling into a folder, it will allow you to start to look at and render those files and just simply lazy load them as they go from the top down, so that you're able to very quickly access those folders without having to wait for all of those things to render. So again, usability-wise, this is really, really exciting for us to be able to go ahead and be able to allow you to access these types of features. Some of the other things that I wanted to talk about, one of the things that we're looking at here is server-to-server sharing. Now, this is a really cool feature, something that we're very, very excited about. Let's say, for example, I share a file via link, and I come here and I've gone ahead and shared that file via link already. Come up here, and I'm somebody that has received this file, and I click on that link. So let's say you're sharing with a colleague at another organization who's also running ownCloud. One of the things you can do, assuming the proper configuration, is take this file or take the folder that's been shared with you and add it to your ownCloud. So what we're doing behind the scenes now is making a WebDAV connection from the person that initiated the share to your own cloud. And ultimately going ahead and making it so that now the two ownClouds can actually share a document folder or a document, so that you can collaborate with someone that maybe is using another ownCloud server and continue to add documents, continue to collaborate with those documents, and with that server-to-server connection and doing all that under the covers. So it's really, really exciting, again, from the collaboration perspective and the ability to go ahead and make a shared folder something that's a permanent fixture in your own cloud from a colleague's own cloud. So again, really, really exciting in terms of the way we're going about making shares. Some of the other things, and actually what I want to do now is pop out real quick. I'll log back in as the admin, but I want to pop out real quick and log in as a user so you can sort of see some of the other things that we're doing here. From a user perspective that are relatively exciting. So obviously, you're all familiar with the activity streams piece of this, right? And so we, added some additional views to this as well. So you can look at it from all activities, activities that you performed, activities that others have performed. So if you've shared things with somebody or shared a folder with someone and they've updated files or updated folders, you could certainly see that as well. Things that you've shared. So you want to, again, from the activity stream, see things that you've shared. Again, this idea of breaking these things down into views to make it simple to get to that information is very, very exciting. The other thing we're doing with activity streams is giving you the ability to do notifications or roll-ups. So you can now, if you're somebody that's not going to be in front of your own cloud or the web interface all the time, the system can now go out and tug on your shirt sleeve and say, hey, a file or folder has been shared with you. A new file or folder has been created in a shared folder. A file or folder has been changed in a folder that you're sharing with somebody else. In all of these things, you can actually choose how you want to be notified. By default, we'll put them in your activity stream, but we also give you the ability to go ahead and see from a mail perspective or get an email that's going to reach out to you and tug you and say, hey, this has happened. And you get to choose the frequency of those emails. So on an hourly basis, I can get an email that's a roll-up of all the activity that's happened inside of my own cloud based on folders of files that I've shared with other users. So again, really, really exciting stuff to sort of bridge that gap between the connected user, someone that's in front of their own cloud, and somebody that is traveling or happens to not be sitting in front of the web interface but wants to know what's going on and wants to know pretty quickly. So again, some pretty exciting stuff there in terms of being able to do that. From an end user perspective, again, being able to sort these files, being able to manage large numbers of files are all very, very exciting for us in the ability to go ahead and take advantage of some of the power of PHP to be able to go ahead and easily and quickly be able to go ahead and look at what's going on. The other pieces here, things like, and this is a subtle change, but it's something that I think is important, is the ability to go ahead and determine where you want to save new documents. So if you're using the Documents app and you want to save the new documents to root, you certainly can do that. If you go into Documents and create a document and want to save it in another folder, again, it's about organization, it's about usability, it's really about being able to stay organized within your own cloud and giving you the ability to do those types of things. So again, from an end user perspective, a lot of good stuff happening here from that perspective, and makes it very, very simple to manage those large numbers of files. Now, I know I'm flipping around here a bit, but I want to flip back to some of the admin features because they're really exciting to me as well. Some of the things that we're going to allow you to do, and I want to start off with things like user management. Those of you that have large numbers of users know that it can be a little bit painful to manage large numbers of users in the local user management piece here. We've changed all of that. The community has heard those requests and has responded. As you can see here now, we now have a search feature within user management. So you can search for users and groups. Very, very exciting. If you have thousands of users, you don't feel like scrolling through and looking for a user just so you can go ahead and reset their quota. You've got all of your groups here in the navigation pane on the left. So if I want to get to just a group of users, I can do that. I can click on that group and it will go ahead and render the users that are in that group. Again, very, very powerful feature to be able to quickly and efficiently administer large numbers of users. The other cool part here is you can actually now look at and see the default storage location for every user. So if you want to know what their default storage location is because you've got to maybe do a file restore into their particular default storage, you can see that at a glance. There's no guessing in terms of what that is. You also get to see the last login. So this is, again, a nice feature from a reporting perspective. Who's using the system? I've rolled it out. Who's using it? When's the last time they've logged in? Do I have user accounts that are provisioned here that aren't being used? Very, very exciting feature. So this sort of overhaul of the end user management piece is very, very exciting from that perspective. And it's something that, again, users have asked for it. And once again, the ownCloud community has stepped up and responded and put something together here that I think is a huge leap forward for the product. The other piece that I want to talk a little bit about here is around some of the admin features. And so we get into things like external storage and the ability to go ahead and quickly and easily add external storage. We've made it now, from an admin perspective, a little bit more granular in terms of what you want to allow end users to mount. So as an admin, I can come in here and say, I don't want end users mounting FTP or SFTP, but everything else is okay. Well, now I can go ahead and do that without a lot of trouble. I no longer need to go in and adjust the PHP code to suppress certain things. I can do that right from here. So I can control what end users are able to do. Some of the other things that I want to talk about is our ability to go ahead and do things like use Swift and Ceph as default storage. Again, very, very exciting stuff from that perspective, being able to mount those different storage types and use them as default storage. The ability to go ahead and mount SMB CIF shares using your OwnC login. So I can go ahead and by default mount, if I have using my LDAP credentials, an SMB share, and ultimately go ahead and use my credentials, not or the user credentials, not a service account, which will maintain file fidelity, file ownership, all of those things. So again, very, very exciting stuff to be able to go ahead and do that from an external storage app perspective. Something we're very, very proud of. Doing things like allowing remote shares. This is, again, the ownCloud server-to-server sharing and being able to control that or turn that on or off. Some of the other things that are really, really exciting here are in documents now we have MS Word support. So you can go ahead and actually do an inline conversion from an MS Word document to an OpenOffice where you can go ahead and edit it, save it, and convert it back. Very exciting for support for MS Word and being able to evolve this feature to a point where it's becoming more and more usable by the masses. And again, this is something that is in direct response to feedback we got from the user community, and the ownCloud developer community simply stepped up. Some of the other things that are really, really interesting here are things like mail templates. So if I define a mail template, I can go ahead and actually define those here and ultimately edit them here. So now I can have my sharing template, for example, here, say something different. So from a branding perspective or from sort of a tweaking perspective, if you want to have a specific message that goes out as part of the mail that gets sent when you share a file, that all can be edited right here from the administrator pane. Again, really, really exciting stuff. Things like configuring the email server. So for those of you that were familiar with setting up email services in the last version of ownCloud, in ownCloud 6, it was a requirement that you went into the config file and actually put some of these entries into the config file. Well, we've put that now into the admin panel. Again, very, very straightforward. I can come here and I can configure everything I need to configure to allow ownCloud to push emails out right from here. No more going to the config file and bouncing back and forth between the config file and the admin panel. Everything is right here in a centralized management system, which is very, very exciting for us. Something that simply wasn't there. And again, I'll repeat myself again. The user community asked, the ownCloud developer community responded here in ownCloud 7, which is very, very exciting. We've changed some of the things you can do with sharing as well. So if you look at sharing, we now give you the ability to enforce password protection. So you're essentially telling end users, if you want to share a file, we're going to force you to put a password or password protect it. We can allow public uploads or not. And then we can set a default expiration date. So if I want to go ahead and enforce that, so that by default, an expiration date is set for every shared link that gets generated. The user can go in and change that time, but I can go ahead and actually enforce that expiration date and make sure that there are no links that say are going to be out there longer than 30 days. Again, very, very exciting stuff. Makes it simple for an administrator to get better control over what users are doing with their own cloud services. So guys, that's just a sort of real quick overview. I mean, there are a lot of really cool improvements that got made as part of the ownCloud 7 release. We're really going to encourage everyone to grab it, download it, get it installed. We're really excited about this launch. It really represents the culmination of all the feedback that we've gotten from end users, and really want folks to download, use it, and then keep the feedback coming so that we can start to fuel the fire for ownCloud 8, continue to evolve the product to make sure that you and the community are getting the most from your ownCloud experience. We've got a great community of developers that are ready to respond to these challenges and really, really excited about this release and beyond. Again, my name's Bob Boulay. I really appreciate you taking a few minutes here to allow me to give you the quick overview of ownCloud 7. Download it, use it. Can't wait to hear from you. Thank you.